Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we're talking all about kitchen design details, these fine and simple ones that are often missed but should not be overlooked. Sometimes it is the smallest things that you may be missing that can make or break your kitchen. Now, the first thing we have to talk about, one of the details that immediately says designer to me, that looks like thought was put into it or looks like it's like, sloppy build or great work, is the placement of your backsplash. Now, obviously your backsplash is like on your backsplash. We're not talking about the placement that much. We're talking about where it stops, where it starts, where the endings are, and the way it layers into your space. One of the biggest pet peeves I have with a kitchen is that sometimes they look like cabinetry in a space, and it's like, oh, we have a base cabinet, we have a top cabinet or upper cabinets, they're just on the wall there. It's all of the lines that are not broken up. And your backsplash is a great place to do this. How you go about achieving this is with the end placement of the height. You take it all the way up to the base of the cabinets, but in those areas where you don't have cabinetry, like around your stove or your oven, your cooktop where it meets the vent hood, or a window above your sink, for example, these are areas where you want to extend the height of the backsplash. Around a window, I would bring it up probably 3 inches or the length of one tile above the base of the cabinetry. That way you get a slightly layered effect. You may think like that literally means nothing. It makes no difference whatsoever, but in all honesty, it does. It softens some of those harsh lines so your kitchen doesn't just feel like it's there, it's installed. It feels like it's designed, it's built in, like it's intentional. That's a big deal and makes a difference. Behind your cooktop, where your vent hood is, that backsplash needs to go up to the base of the vent hood, at the very least. For me, and when it comes to a vent hood, I like something substantial, something built in. I don't like to see wall behind it. I don't really love these kind of like open metal vent hoods because it's gonna get dust up there. It has to be cleaned, and we're looking at a wall behind it. So you either take the tile up behind it, which is a lot of tile that's serving no purpose other than something visual, or if it's a little bit more built in, you have a natural stopping point. That's where I think it is. The base of the vent hood, tile gotta go all the way up to it. Don't give me a gap there, okay? Because I'm looking first thing at that gap. It stands out. It's like almost shocking to the senses. I don't want to see that. Taking the backsplash all the way up, once again, it softens that line, but it also fills in the space, avoiding you having some glaring gap there that shouldn't be. And when it comes to the ending of your tile, like the ideal kitchen doesn't have an exposed tile edge on the sides of it. Like you don't see the side of a base cabinet. Nobody wants that. But, in an open concept house, not every builder, let's say, is LeChic approved, okay? Like, they're just not calling me up, they're making mistakes, they're obviously going to somebody else that either doesn't have any design education or just no taste or style, but that's not a struggle I can personally relate to. So for me, if you can see the side of a cabinet, the side of a base cabinet there, when it comes to the tile, it should be aligned with the cabinet edge, not the countertop edge. If the backsplash extends to the countertop edge, it's going to overhang the upper cabinet edge, the lower cabinet edge, and it feels like something that is too weighty above it. It feels heavy, and it feels like the cabinetry doesn't extend far enough. So when it comes to your backsplash, take the edge of your cabinets and that's where it stops. Your countertops are supposed to overhang. Like they overhang the edge of your cabinets, the fronts, the sides of it. You want to accentuate that fact, that detail, because it's meant to be there. We're expecting to see it and we should. Having that exposed instead of having, the tile edge meet right up to it looks more luxurious, more intentional, more built in. Now I know that can be a confusing kind of thing to think about, like, what does that even mean? Like, where does that end in my kitchen or whatever? If you're in a position where you're renovating something, you're designing something, you're just choosing a paint color, selecting a finish, looking at that new furniture piece, I am always at your service. You can book a one-on-one consultation with me using the link in the description box down below or going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Now, something else that matters in your kitchen, a design detail that many people miss, is actually the size of their vent hood. Now, if your kitchen is already built, like it's already in place, you're not extending the size of the vent hood, okay? We can't make it any bigger because the cabinetry is already there, it's already installed. You know, we're working within the parameters we have, but you can get something that has more bulk to it, that's more built in, that doesn't have all of the sloped sides and edges, because those are naturally places where dust, where grime, where dirt is going to build up, and someone's gonna have to clean it. In this house, it is the housekeeper, yes, but the housekeeper also happens to be me. So I don't want to deal with that, and I don't think you want to either. So, you know, really putting that intentional design into a space makes the difference. It makes it livable and easy to live in, as opposed to something that's really high maintenance. When you are designing your kitchen top to bottom from scratch, honey, I love that for you, and I love that you're experiencing that opportunity. You're gonna have your dream kitchen, but go oversized with the vent hood. Get the next size up. If you're doing a 36-inch cooktop, get the 40-inch vent hood. Having it oversized not only feels more substantial, feels so much more luxurious. And going one size up, it's a little more expensive, but not so drastically much that it's gonna like break the budget on the kitchen remodel, which I think is fantastic. But it really makes a kitchen look statement-like. And whether it's a modern kitchen, contemporary, whether it's ultra traditional, you're doing English cottage, doesn't matter. Going oversized on the vent hood is fantastic. Also, a bigger vent hood is going to like suck more air up out of the space while you're cooking, and you're getting like, you know, smoke and dust and grease all over the place. It's all gonna get sucked up into there, and the kitchen will be cleaner. And I think that's fantastic, because once again, I don't wanna have to do any more work than is necessary, and cleaning a kitchen after every time I cook to get all of the grease, too much work for me. I'd rather have an oversized vent hood that will get all of that up and spare me that extra work. Let's talk about a great design detail that you can add to your existing kitchen. You don't have to be renovating, doesn't have to be some big, overdrawn, overthought out thing. And that is hardware. Hardware is the jewelry of the space, okay? I love hardware, I adore it. You can do so much with great hardware. And in a kitchen, I personally love to see mixed styles of hardware. I love it so much because it creates layers, it creates depth. And in a kitchen, you don't always want to have a ton of like accessories and decor and just stuff everywhere, because once again, like this is a space we're using, it gets dirty. I want it to look good, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life scrubbing a kitchen and all of the accessories in it. So adding some good hardware in a kitchen can be that statement moment, that layered detail that you want to see. I like to look for different variations, either of the same hardware finish, or you can mix and match different things. Pulls for drawers are great. Knobs for cabinets are wonderful. You can actually find some really cool things that have a vintage feel or a take on them, which I think are wonderful. You can find cabinet hardware that actually, you know, it has like a turn lock or closes. That can be really beautiful on a lesser used cabinet, and I think that's something worth mentioning. Think about the style of hardware you're putting in your kitchen and the way you use your kitchen. For me, I'm moving all over the place. I'm here, I'm there, I'm going all over the place, bouncing back and forth, and I move quick when I'm doing stuff, when I'm cooking, because, you know, I'm hungry when I'm cooking, honey. Okay, I want to get to the eating part of it. I want to get that in the oven so we can get down, you know, get dinner on the table. I'm moving quickly. So if I have cabinets that have a lock on them or something, it's literally going to drive me crazy, because I'm gonna have to stop there and fidget with it or whatever. I don't like that. So I want my cabinets just to have a knob that I can pull open and access. I think that's wonderful. I also don't like hardware that is like that cup style of hardware. For me, it's just not the vibe. Like, I don't know what's underneath there. Like, is there bacteria? Is there dirt? Is there debris? Like, I don't like that. I don't want to have to like cup it and put my hand in it. I don't even like that on a car door. So if I can avoid putting that into a kitchen, I will do it, because I once again, I just don't like that. Speaking about something in your space that's missing, I would say it's great design that I feature here on this channel, which is why if you're looking around and you're like, my house is a little lackluster, it probably relates back to your subscriber status on this channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You made it this far in the video, and obviously you're liking what you're hearing, what you're seeing, everything that's going on, so don't be fake. Join us, become a part of the LeChic family by hitting that subscribe button and giving this video a like. A design detail in your kitchen that we have a lot of conversations about, is electrical and outlets. So, you know, you need outlets in a kitchen, right? I mean, like, you need to plug the mixer in, you need to plug the food processor in, okay? Maybe you just have your island and you need to plug your cell phone in to charge it, okay? Actually, you know what? It's really great to have like a charging port in your kitchen because maybe you're plugging your iPad in to look at those recipes online. Love that for you. Outlets in kitchens matter. You need to have them. You got to have them. So when you're doing a full renovation, or if you're going through a builder, you're building a new home, that's the time to move the outlets. I personally like it when you have, you know, these kind of plug-in outlets underneath the cabinetry. So we don't have any in the backsplash disturbing the gorgeous tile, the stone, whatever you have happening there. It's a good time to move those outlets. But in your kitchen, if you already have them there, you know, they're in place, okay? They are there. You can use one of my favorite hacks of all time. I love paintable outlet covers because when you're decorating a space, when you're painting it a beautiful color, I don't want to see a big outlet sticking out on the wall. Paintable outlet covers are perfect, and you can use them in a backsplash also to create the illusion or to disguise them and make it look like they're not there. If you maybe know somebody, or you have a muralist friend, or maybe you are just an artist yourself, you could have them painted to mimic the backsplash so they completely fade into the background and blend in. These are really inexpensive, and I will link them for you in the description box down below. I have one right here in this drawer painted in the green of my bedroom. Needs a second coat, but you know, I love these. These are fantastic and really work wonders on a kitchen backsplash also. And you don't have to do any sort of electrical work. No electrician required to put this in. It just screws right over the front of it and you're good to go. Now, something else that is a really great design detail is all about the lighting in your kitchen. Under cabinet lights are phenomenal. Okay, they're fantastic. They are wonderful. That is something you might need an electrician for, but it probably is worth at least having that conversation about how do we go about putting this in. I love task lighting under the cabinets. Amazing, fantastic, and be sure you're thinking about the tone of that lighting. You don't want to have like warm tone lights overhead and then a cool tone light on the backsplash. It'll just look and feel a little bit crazy, but that is a place you can go for, you know, a mid-tone. So I like 2700 kelvins for lighting, but maybe you want something a little bit brighter than that for that task lighting. Another great place for lighting is above your cabinetry. If your cabinets don't extend to your ceiling, add some lighting in there. You get this really gorgeous statement glowing effect that has a softness to it at the same time that makes the cabinets not extending to the ceiling feel intentional. And if you're working with an electrician, you can have them wired together. So if you're using one, you're using both. I think that's wonderful also. When it comes to overhead lighting in a kitchen, recessed lighting, people love it. I will say it's a trend that's probably on its way out, but a kitchen is a phenomenal place to maintain that. So think about where you're putting that in. I personally would like to see overhead lighting, recessed lighting around a walking area. So not above your cabinets, not necessarily above your countertops, but in a space that makes sense logically. So they're not just kind of like askewed or different or in a weird area. Just put them over where you walk in the kitchen, and that's a simple enough, you know, kind of form to stick to get them in the right place. And we also love a hanging or a pendant fixture. Put one above your sink, put some above your island. And if you have a kitchen that doesn't have an island, put something in that overhead light fixture area that doesn't hang down low. It's close to the ceiling, not necessarily like the builder grade boob light situation, but something that is a little bit more elevated than that, honey. So think about that, and there's lots of great lighting you can bring into a kitchen. It's definitely a detail that can make or break the space. It's adding hardware, it's adding usage to the kitchen, and those are great areas to take advantage of to elevate the space. Now, if you ask me, I'm looking for a low maintenance light fixture, so I want something that's open in nature, doesn't have a ton of glass. That way it's easy to clean, and I don't have to do all of that extra work. Now, hi Cornelius, hi boy. I think we need to shift so Cornelius can say hello, and we'll talk about the next small design detail that's making a big difference in your home. I don't know what to say, Cornelius. Come on, let's go. Oh yes, hi there, baby bullfrog. What's on your face there? I know. Oh yeah. Oh. Do you want to say hi to everybody? No, he wants his belly rub though. Okay. All right, cameraman's gonna gently angle the camera down so Cornelius can say hello to everyone. Or just look at me in my face. Yes? Oh, hi, there he goes. Yes, hello. Okay, so let's talk about the next fine, small detail that you may be missing from your kitchen that can make a big deal, a big difference in the space. Now, one of my pet peeves is what's happening with a window in your kitchen. So many people have them, and what we used to do was like there'd be a soffit and then you'd kind of have that little curtain detail with a piece of wood over it and maybe a recessed light there. A little bit tacky, a little tired, a little dated, could have a little cottage moment that could be cute, but yes, hello. But I don't think you have to have that. What I would do instead, and what I like to see in a kitchen there, is if you feel like that space looks empty and a little awkward, a Roman blind is your best friend. Roman blinds are literally 90% of the answer to any sort of window treatment question. I love them, and I think in a kitchen you can have so much fun adding color, pattern, detail using a Roman blind. There are different types you can get though. You can get a functional Roman blind that's relatively affordable. They're available on Amazon. I personally really like them and I think they look good, so I will link that for you down below. Or you can go for a more custom option. It doesn't even have to be real or functional though. Cornelius, do not jump from here right now. I cannot deal with you hurting yourself. Okay, all right. I'm gonna gently lower Cornelius from the sofa onto the floor so he can go sit in the sun that's coming in through the window in the studio. Oh, okay. There you go, buddy. So I like a faux option. I think they're great. You can do a designer fabric. They tend to be cheaper than getting a real Roman blind made in a designer fabric because you need less fabric and less craftsmanship that goes into it. So you can just do a blind behind it. Nobody knows, none's the wiser. You can do kind of a custom soffit that fits really beautifully. Those are what I like to see in that space. And you can keep a light fixture there hanging in front of the window. You can have some great layers, and that allows you to accessorize the kitchen in a way that fits and blends in with the rest of your home. Adding color and kind of pops and splashes here and there in a kitchen is wonderful, because if you have a color you're really committed to, doing that all over your kitchen can be a lot. And if you're renting, for example, you're not painting your kitchen like orange or blue or red or whatever. Like, that's a lot to do in a rental. So having that pop, that moment there, that splash of color, that interesting detail, that layer can be wonderful. All it takes is basically hanging it on the wall, same way you would a picture, and I think that is fantastic. Now, if you're looking around your house like I am right now, not looking at my house, looking through the camera at your home, honey, I see what's happening and going on all over here, you need to definitely check out this video right over here, all about design mistakes that are ruining your house. And now hopefully, because I need to, I will see you right over there.